Hello class! Welcome to another edition of Science Class at Home, the New Normal edition. For today's learning objective, we will identify the components of the circulatory system. In this topic, we will discuss the human body transports useful materials to where they need it, and the body gets rid of the metabolic waste. You will discover the importance of an efficient transport system in keeping you alive. Now, let's define circulatory system. It is defined as the life support system that nourishes the cells with food and oxygen. Also, it carries away the waste product of our body. The main function of the circulatory system is to carry oxygen and nutrients to every cell of the body and remove carbon dioxide and other waste material from the cell throughout our body. Here are the three major parts of the circulatory system. First one is the blood, then the blood vessel, and the heart. So first, let's talk about the blood. Blood carries the material throughout our body. A typical person has around 4 liters of blood. However, men have more blood than women. The blood transports the nutrients to the cell and carries the waste materials out of the body. Blood is also known as the river of life. So, what is in the blood? What is the composition of blood? Okay, so first one, we have the blood plasma. Blood plasma is defined as the yellow fluid portion of the blood, and it composes 55% of the total blood volume. So, blood plasma is a yellowish liquid that is about 92% water. The main role of plasma is to take nutrients, hormones, and proteins to the parts of the body that needs it. Cells also put their waste product into the plasma. The plasma then helps remove the waste from the body, and blood plasma also carries all part of the blood throughout the circulatory system. So, maraming function ang blood plasma. Another composition of the blood is the red blood cells, or also known as the erythrocytes. It is a small biconcave disc with polysaccharide on the outer membrane. When we say polysaccharide, it contains sugar. It is responsible for the transport of oxygen to the body tissues and to the cells. RBCs, or red blood cells, contains hemoglobin, a special kind of protein containing iron. This protein, or this pigmentation, enables red blood cells to transport oxygen from the lungs to the different parts of the body. So as you can see in this picture, okay, so para siyang donut, no? Kasi para siyang container, diba? So again, the main function of the red blood cells is to transport oxygen throughout the. So, have you ever wonder kung saan ba nanggagaling ang ating blood? Okay, or saan ba nagmumula yung ating blood? Okay, so blood, especially the red blood cells, are produced by the bone marrow. So, bone marrow is the longest bone found in our body. So, here, this one, parang ng part ng bone natin na mahaba sa ating kamay at sa binti. Okay? So, yun yung mga bone marrow natin. And this part of the bone produces red blood cells. About 2 million cells are produced per second from the bone marrow. And about 2 to 3 million also die at the same time. So, yung mga nakikreate, may mga nakikreate na bagong blood at the same time, namamatay din sila or nabu-burn out or nagsiself-destruct din sila. So, saan napupunta yung namamatay na blood? Okay? Kapag napagod sila yung blood or the RBCs, pag sila ay namatay, sila ay sinisira ng ating spleen and ng ating liver. Another part of the blood is the white blood cells or WBCs, also known as the leukocytes. It is less than 1% of the cells in the human blood. That means very few lang ang kanyang number in the total blood volume of a person. It acts as a body defense and they fight infection and play principal role in immunity. So, what do you think or why is that 1% lang siya? Ang kanyang function is they fight infection. Sabi, they fight infection against virus or bacteria, diba? So, bakit kaya 1% lang siya? Ano kaya ang reason? It is because white blood cells or WBCs, sila po ay parang sundalo ng katawan natin, soldier sila, defense ng katawan natin. Once na may pumasok na invader sa ating body, sa ating immune system, dumadami sila. So, nagmumultiply yung 1%. Okay? Depende sa kailangan ng katawan. So, ibig sabihin nun, 1% siya kung normal or walang infection ng isang tao. But, pag kailangan siya ng katawan, nagkakaroon ng pagdoble ng number. Depende sa need ng body. Okay? So, yun po ang main function ng white blood cell. And the last composition of blood is the platelets, also known as thrombocytes, and it plays an important role in blood clotting. So, ito yung picture niya. Ito, this one, yung mga white, those are the platelets. Now, how does it work? How does a platelet do their job? When a blood vessel is damaged, halimbawa, nagkasugat ka, nagkaroon ka ng wound, a protein in the blood plasma, okay, forms a long sticky strand called fibrin. And that fibrin traps the platelets to form a clot and seal the wound. So, yung nakikita nyo, halimbawa, ito yung sugat, ayan. No? So, magkakaroon dyan ng, tatakpan muna yun ng fibrin. No? Yung fibrin, galing yun sa platelets natin. I mean, yung plasma natin, galing sa plasma ng blood. And that fibrin, parang siya yung hahatak sa mga platelets para takpan yung sugat. Kaya mapapansin niyo yung sugat natin, may parang pag malaki, may white siya, no? Parang covering. Ibig sabihin po nun, gumagana or nag-a-act na yung ating mga platelets dun sa sugat. The second part of the circulatory system is the blood vessel. Okay, so blood vessel carries the blood throughout the body. Okay, so ano bang ibig sabihin ng blood vessel? When you say blood vessel, ito lang naman po yung mga ugat na meron tayo sa katawan. So sila yung or sila yung daanan ng blood to the different parts of the body. We have three types of blood vessel. We have the arteries, vein, and capillaries. These blood vessels varies in sizes. Okay, so magkakaiba sila ng laki and size. Okay, so blood vessel can be compared into pipelines o yung mga tubo, no? Mga tubo ng tubig na papunta sa mga kabahayan natin. So, may mga maliliit, may mga sobrang laki. So, ganun din yung blood vessels natin, no? So, may mga malalaking ugat, may mga maliliit, at may mga sobrang maliliit. So, we will discuss each type of blood vessel. First one is arteries. Arteries carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the cells, tissues, and body organs. So, arteries, okay, A, ito yung lagi niyang palatandaan, A for away from the heart. Kasi ang movement niya is paalis or papunta kung saan, papuntang tissue and body organs. Also, arteries is the largest blood vessel. So, siya yung pinakamalaking klase ng blood vessel or ng ugat sa ating katawan. Next is the vein. Vein carries deoxygenated blood to the heart. Okay? So, ito naman yung vein. Okay? Pag describe natin yung size niya, nasa medium size lang siya, no? So, hindi siya masyadong malaki, hindi rin masyadong maliit. And it carries deoxygenated blood. So, when you say deoxygenated blood, walang oxygen. Okay? So, yun po yung vein. And lastly, the capillaries. Capillaries is the connecting blood vessel, and it is the smallest artery. It connects smallest arteries to smallest vein. Okay? So, ganito yung function niya. No? Ayan. Taga-connect siya. So, among these three types of blood vessel, siya yung pinakamaliit na klase ng blood vessel. At dahil siya yung pinakamaliit at pinakamanipis, okay, siya yung nagkukonekta sa mga malalaking blood vessel or ugat. Another is, when you remember the function of this capillary, okay, we have already discussed it in the respiratory system. This type of blood vessel is found in our alveoli. Okay? So, ito yung klase ng blood vessel na madaling mag-diffuse yung mga blood at saka yung oxygen, okay, papunta sa lungs and papunta sa blood. Okay? So, ito yung capillaries. And the last part of the circulatory system is the heart. Okay? The heart pumps the blood throughout the body. So, siya yung taga-pump, no? Pumping station, yung another term for the heart. And also, the heart is the major or the main organ of the circulatory system. Kasi siya yung puso ng puso, di ba? Kasi siya yung taga-pump ng blood. Kasi hindi naman aantara yung blood na yan kung walang magpapump sa kanya. So, yun yung function ng heart. Okay? So, ito yung mismong picture ng heart ng isang tao. And this is how it moves. And every beat of your heart moves liters of blood throughout our body. The heart is divided into 4 chambers. Okay? 4 chambers siya. The upper chamber consists of 2, and the lower chamber consists of 2. So, all in all, you have 4 chambers. Okay, so this one, okay, this one is the picture. Ayan. Nasaan dyan yung chamber na yun? When you say chamber, para siyang empty space, no? So, we have the upper chamber. So, this one is the upper chamber. Ayan. Which known as the atria. Okay? Atria yung tawag natin dyan. So, nahahati yan sa dalawa because atria is divided into the left atria and the right atria. So, ito yung left atria, LA, and ito naman yung right atria. Ayan. And yung nasa baba naman, ito naman po, is again another 2 chambers known as the ventricle. Okay? So yung ventricle, medyo mas makapal yung walls niya when you compare it to atria. Kasi mas kailangan niya dyan ng puwersa dahil siya yung nagpa-pump, no? Siya yung taga-push ng blood pataas. Kaya makapal yung kanyang walls. Okay? So this one is the right ventricle, RV. And dito naman yung left ventricles. Okay, so right atrium receives blood to the different parts of the body, as well as the right ventricle, while the left atrium receives blood from the lungs and also the left ventricle. Okay? Okay, so the upper chambers of the heart, which is the atria, yun. Again, hatiin natin. We have the right atrium and the left atrium. So, right atrium accepts blood from the body. Okay? It accepts blood from the body. Ito yung daanan niya, papunta dyan. Okay, and dito siya punta sa right atrium. While the left atrium accepts blood from the lungs. Okay, so yung pumapasok dyan na blood galing naman sa lungs. While the lower chambers, also known as the pumping chambers, kasi nga ventricle siya yung taga-pump. Okay? So, dito naman, sa right ventricle, yan, it moves the blood to the lungs. Okay? So, ito papunta yan sa lungs. Yan. And the left ventricle, okay, moves blood to the body. So, punta naman siya dito. And the blood from here distributes to the different parts of the body. So, yun yung function ng mga chambers ng heart. Characterize ourselves with the different parts of the heart. Okay, so firstly, we have the superior and inferior vena cava. So, this part of the heart collects blood. Ito, galing to sa lower part ng katawan natin, going up. And then, superior vena cava naman comes from the upper part of the heart. And yung blood dyan, and dito sa superior vena cava, ay pupunta dito sa right atrium. Okay, so, siya yung receiving chamber. Then, we have the tricuspid valve. Again, valve yan. So, that means it prevents the blood from flowing back. Then, we have the right ventricle. Okay? And then, we have the pulmonary artery. So, this one, papunta yan sa lungs. Okay? Then, we have the pulmonary artery din yan. Then, we have the pulmonary vein. Ito naman yung vein o yung blood vessel na galing sa lungs. Okay? Ganun din dito. Ayan. Mag-meet sila dito. Okay, so left atrium, papasok sila sa left atrium. And then, in between left atrium and left ventricle, merong mitral valve. And then, goes to the left ventricle. Then, we have the aorta. Okay, so aorta is the largest artery. Okay, so siya yung pinakamalaking artery. And, ayan, yun yung mga different parts of the heart. Okay, so how does the movement of the blood inside our heart? Okay, as you notice, yung left side ng heart ay kulay red, while the right side of the heart ay kulay blue. Ibig sabihin po kasi yan. The blood flows in the right side of the heart, sa kanang part ng heart, is known as the deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood. When we say deoxygenated blood, it contains no oxygen. Okay? Walang oxygen yung dumadaan. Blood siya, pero wala siyang laman na oxygen. So, may laman siyang carbon dioxide. While the left side of the heart, dito naman, it contains blood with oxygen, also known as the oxygenated blood. Okay? So now, paano ba yung movement ng blood? Okay, first it enters the superior vena cava, again galing yan sa taas, and the inferior vena cava. So magkikita yung blood natin sa loob ng right atrium. Okay, so mula sa right atrium, bababa siya sa right ventricle, and remember, ang function ng right ventricle is to pump, diba? So yung blood dito, ipapump niya papunta sa pulmonary artery. Okay? So, saan pupunta pag pumunta na sa pulmonary artery? Okay, ito, pupunta siya sa lungs, di ba? Kaya yan artery, anong sabi natin sa artery? Away from the heart. So, papunta siya sa lungs, paalis siya ng heart. Okay, now, ano nang mangyayari pagdating niya sa lungs? The lungs will then supply oxygen to the blood through the process of diffusion, and yung blood ay babalik siya sa pulmonary vein. Ano nang dala-dala niya? Siya na ay blood with oxygen. So, oxygenated blood na siya. Papasok siya sa pulmonary vein. Yan, papasok siya dyan. Magkikita sila sa left atrium. Okay? Then, it goes down to the left ventricle. Again, left ventricle yan, ipapump niya yan pataas. Saan pupunta? Sa aorta. Okay? So, this aorta, dahil siya yung pinakamalaking blood vessel or pinakamalaking artery, pinakamarami rin yung laman niya. Okay? And dahil dyan, it can distribute blood, oxygenated blood, to the different parts of the body. So, that is how the movement of blood inside the heart. And lahat ng yan ay nangyayari in a bit of second. Lahat ng chambers ng heart ay umaandar ng sabay-sabay while doing their function. Another features of the heart is the valve. Okay? The heart has 4 valves. Ano yung valves? Okay, so valves prevents blood from flowing back. So remember, nagpapump yung heart natin, di ba? What if pabalik-balik yung blood doon? Okay, so merong solusyon dyan, and that is known as the valve. Okay, it prevents the blood from flowing back para hindi bumabalik yung blood sa loob ng heart. Okay, so ganito yung itsura niya. The valves open fully when the blood flows through it, and it closes tightly. Okay, blood cannot flow backwards. Kaya pag nakapasok na yung blood dyan, hindi na siya makakabalik doon. Okay, so again, we have 4 valves found in our heart. We have the pulmonary valve. Okay, malamang makikita siya sa pulmonary artery. Then we have the tricuspid valve. Okay, it is in between right atrium and right ventricle. And then we have the aortic valve, found on the aorta, and the mitral valve, also known as bicuspid valve, found in between left atrium and left ventricle. Okay, so yan po yung valves natin. Again, ang gawain lang ng valve ay para masara yung lagusan o yung daanan, so that the blood won't flow back from where it is came from.